And I was like, OASIS, I don't care about that. Turns out it's really important.
What's your name and a fun fact about you?
My name is Georgia and I speak Korean.
Cool. My name's Alix. I began and ended a year in New York, but I didn't live there in between.
Oh. What did you wish you knew about studying beforehand? How difficult it'd be? Like, you come into uni and you're doing referencing and...
Yeah, that was really hard.
Yeah. I've never referenced ever. That was something I wish I'd known beforehand so I could be a bit more prepared.
That's a good one actually, like learning how to reference before you start, because then that would make things easier, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd make me probably procrastinate way less just because I didn't want to do it.
I don't know about that. I'd probably still procrastinate. What are your tips on staying connected?
It's a different experience, like studying remotely.
Yeah.
And so I think I myself struggle with it because like for me it was do what I had to do and then keep going. But I know that I probably would have benefited more if I was more open to attending like the workshops with other people online or even making better connections with classmates and stuff. In the end, I did end up making friends through my units and stuff like that, but we were using like personal social media like Discord and stuff to study on.
I leaned on like Facebook groups quite a lot as well, joining some Facebook groups for students who were studying similar things. So that was really good to sort of get their perspective and see if I could help them and vice versa.
Yeah, I think there's also like the Blackboard forum things that you could go on and talk to people with. Yeah, those are also really handy, even just like kind of gauging who was on the same wavelength as you with your assignments so you could kind of connect with them there.
Yeah.
What is your top tip for success?
Oh, my top tip would be to like look through your unit outlines and write down when your assessments are due, because if you submit a late assessment, your marks go down per day that you don't submit, and you don't want to lose any marks, do you? You're trying really hard on these, so to lose marks for something like that, I just didn't want to do that. Yeah,
I used to like placebo affect myself into thinking that my assignments were a week earlier, so I'd put it into a calendar and I'd do it because I know what I'm like. I'm a procrastinator at heart, so I would like put it in a week earlier so that I'd panic and then do it that week, and I'd be like, oh wait, you've tricked yourself again.
But even that week is handy for like rewrites and grammar checking, so that's such a good idea. I need to steal that.
What are your tips on textbooks?
Buy second hand if you can.
It's
so expensive.
Yeah.
I use the library a lot as well, seeing what I could get from there. And also I spoke to like people that were doing the same unit as me too.
Yeah.
So if they bought a textbook, then we could share it and I would buy maybe another textbook.
But yeah, I was doing the same with going through the library and finding as much information as I could that way, rather than having to pay astronomical prices for something I was only going to use maybe once or twice.
What are your top 3 things to look for in your unit guides?
The assignment percentage, like what it's worth, because if it's 50% and your unit is a 50% pass rate, dude, you got to do well. My UC as well, just so I know who to contact if I had any questions about it, and then I would obviously look at the content, like what I'm actually working on, whether it was a report, and then making sure that I was going back through to like the library and just using the resources of how to write the assignment, just making sure that I was on track.
Yeah, I would say make a note of the mandatory assignments, because those are the ones that you cannot miss.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be flapping around last minute like I was trying to complete an assignment that you have to complete. Oh, okay. What's the difference between your tutor and your unit coordinator?
Your tutor is the person who does your classes, teaches you the things, and then your UC is the unit coordinator, but they take care of everything from like top down, right?
Yeah, like they decide how it's going to run, what the assignments are going to be, and if you get an assignment extension, they're going to authorize that.
What are your tips on juggling assignment deadlines?
I used to have a whiteboard, so I'd write it all down on a whiteboard and like maybe like have it bolded in red when it was like really due.
And I always find that it's super handy to, at the start of your semester, outline all of your assignments, just so that you know when they're coming up, and then you can kind of plan accordingly as to how you're going to do it.
Yeah, I always write them down too.
Yeah. What are your top tips for studying online?
When I'm doing my assignments, I don't know how it works, but it does. I sit on the floor. Don't know how it works. I sit on the floor with my laptop on, like perched on something, and I just find that really centers me and I can get my assignments done.
That's a good one. For me, I think it's like making sure that I have separate spaces. I have my desk or whatever it might be, and I study there, and that's purely for study, and then everything else is the rest of my life, so that I'm not constantly feeling overwhelmed by both things at once. Being able to have your own space to do what you need to do is a really good way of staying on top of studies. What is your tip to best utilise OASIS?
I use the events tab quite a lot. There's like a really handy filter where you can filter to online only events.
Yeah.
So I use that quite a lot.
Yeah. For me, it was the My Experience tab. Have you ever used that one? It's like a checklist for admin stuff that you have to go through. So it was really handy, especially because I didn't know what I was doing, and it just kind of helped me stay on track with everything.
What's the difference between OASIS and Blackboard?
It took me ages to learn this, but OASIS is more like a homepage, so you could access like everything to do with uni, so it's like the events pages, experience tabs, or that kind of thing. And then Blackboard is more so for like content and learning, so it's where you go for your units, any information to do with that. Yeah. How did the Respect for Relationships module help you in transitioning as a new student?
It helped me with creating boundaries. I'm a people pleaser, I like to say yes a lot. So yeah, it helped me to get the confidence to say no a lot more.
Yeah, I think it was like a really important thing to have as well, because it kind of just emphasizes the fact that this is a safe environment to be studying in, and that the university does support that. So I thought it was like a really good module to go through, because it is a requirement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did teach about boundaries and just being safe and how to protect yourself and others and how to behave. So yeah.
When do you think was the first time you accessed OASIS?
The week before classes started, I was so slack, just because I didn't know what it was. I was like, OASIS, I don't care about that. Turns out it's really important. You guys should know that. It's really important.
Oh, that would give me anxiety.
I know. I did it to myself, but...
I was nosy. As soon as I had the email through, I was on it, having a little look, just trying to suss it out really, because it was such a new platform to me that I just wanted to get across it.
Yeah, fair. What is a piece of uni lingo you thought meant something else?
I didn't know that there was a difference between census and withdrawing, like a withdrawn date. You have to withdraw by the census period to not incur a fee, whereas you can withdraw by like a later date, and then you won't have any penalties on your academic record.
Yeah.
So I was like really thrown by those two. What Curtin support services have you accessed, and how did they help you?
Ooh, I've done some of the mentor programs. So like, I think it's the peer academic mentoring. So that was mainly when I was struggling with some of my assignments, and I kind of just needed a bit of a guide as to what I was doing and where I was going wrong, just feeling a bit stuck. So that was one that I've accessed. And there was also Wellbeing, because they do more than just worry about your mental health and stuff. It's also about like extensions or understanding something that's going on in like your unit, or if you're struggling with a classmate or whatever it might be. So they were a real big support for me.
I accessed like the library services quite a lot. I accessed quite a few of the online library workshops as well, because I really struggled with my referencing. That was a massive jump up for me. They were so handy.
How did you know that you were in the right course for you?
Sometimes you never know you're in the right course for you, but I knew I always wanted to study education and become a teacher. So yeah, I think I just was quite set on that.
Yeah, I think for me it was like I have an idea of where I wanted to be. I just didn't have the skills to get there. But you're right, like you never do know until you know. But
the best thing about uni is like you learn so many transferable skills doing any of your units or any of your courses. Yeah, it's so handy to go to uni.
Yeah.